Grace and peace and good morning to you. This is your girl Thaïs Sherell here with you. And I just want to speak to you a little bit before I go to work. Was thinking about you. Yes, and I want to talk to you on the topic of, are you feeling lonely? Well, guess what? You never have to be alone, nor are you ever alone. You're never alone. So, the first thing that we want to talk about is the truth versus the myth. I'm going to take my glasses on this because the truth is that feeling lonely is not the same as being alone. And I'm talking to you from experience. I know that feeling lonely is definitely not the same as being alone. And sometimes we interchange the two words and the terms and we confuse ourselves. But knowing the truth will help us defeat the myth and to have more joy and peace in our life and dealing with what we're going on. So let's break it apart. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about loneliness. Well, loneliness is a feeling. It's a feeling that's caused by a state of mind that you may be in. It's just like you feel frustrated. It's you feel anger. Those are all emotions, and those are things that uh, are internal because of something that happens on the outside. Something that has happened externally is causing you to feel these emotions internally. So loneliness is a feeling, and if it's a feeling, we can learn how to put that feeling in check and to deal with what's really going on in our lives. And so that brings us to the topic of being alone. Well, being alone is the absence of having someone there. More importantly to most people is feeling or believing that there's someone actually there externally that cares about you, that knows what you're going through, that can walk through life with you. And during the holiday seasons, you may feel that even more so if you had a loved one, a parent, whatever it is, best friend that had passed away or moved away, and you want someone there that can be close to you. So once again, loneliness is a feeling. It's more of an internal emotion that is caused by an external circumstance. Being alone is the lack of a presence there that is there, that it's on your behalf. Well, so let's talk about that right now, because technically you are never alone. That's right, you are never alone. And that's where the good news comes in. The good news is that the creator of the universe is there for you. That's right, God, our heavenly Father, he created you with a purpose in mind. He already, before you were born, he decided the attributes you would have. He decided the skin color, the eye color. He took so much time in detailing you. It wasn't just your mother and father getting together. No, there was a lot that had to that went into making you, and God had a specific plan for your life. And so he is with you every moment. Even when you're in your worst day, guess what? He's there. But he's like a good friend. He's there. He's waiting to listen to you. He's not going to just jump in and start telling you, you better do this, you better do. No, he's not like that. He's a gentleman in that aspect. And he's waiting for you to say, you know what, God, I know you're there. Can you speak to me? I need some guidance. I'm feeling this way. Can you help me? And let me tell you, I'm telling you something that I know, as the old people would say, but it's true. I'm not that old, but I'm telling you something that I actually know. He's waiting to hear from you. Say, God, can you help me with this? I don't understand this. I need you to tell me a little bit more about that. And then guess what? He's going to begin to talk to you. And so when you ask him that, then you begin to open up your word. I spoke before about how do you hear God? Well, you hear God by listening and training yourself to hear his voice. And the way you train yourself to hear his voice is to open up the Bible, which was brought to earth because he's spoken to the lives of certain people and they wrote it down. And so what was in the past, you can use it now in the present because he's no different. He doesn't change. So you begin to study the word. And as you study the word, as you're speaking to him, you will hear him in a way where it's just like, to me, it sounds like him sitting right there next to me. But for you who are learning how to hear him, it may sound like your mother's voice in the back of your head. She knows you so well, and if you're doing something, she may say, don't do that, and you hear it. It's internal, but it almost feels as though you're hearing it externally. Well, that's one way. Or sometimes he might speak through people. So he's there. He's waiting to hear from you. So you're never alone. And sometimes he'll send people in to say, guess what? To let you know, if you don't know how to hear him directly, to let you know that he's right there. And then someone on the external will come to you and say what you need to hear. And you go, well, how do you know that? Well, that's because God that was sitting there next to you, and you have yet learned how to discover how to hear his voice. So sometimes he'll send someone so that you can have that external presence to know that he's right there next to you. Or sometimes you may pick up a book and you'll read something. That's his way of showing you that, guess what? I'm speaking to you. And as you learn to tune your ears and to hear him, he won't need to use as much those external things because he can speak to you directly. And it's kind of like when you hear people who are prophetic, they have tuned their voice and have learned to hear him more directly. Okay, so the good news is you are never alone. So now, what do we do about that emotional part? So now we know that we're not alone. So how do we deal with that emotion that's bothering us? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to capture that lonely thought and your wandering mind. You have to capture those thoughts. You know, there's the things, your thoughts are running away with you. You have to bring them back in. You have to bring them into submission. And that may take a little work for some people who are used to letting their thoughts go wherever they want to. It's just like a little child. You can't let children do anything they want because they'll wreak havoc. Well, that's the same thing with your thoughts. You got to bring them in. You have to pull them in. And so you can ask God to, as you're pulling your thoughts in, how do I pull my thoughts in? Well, I focus on what I'm reading. Okay, I begin to read specific things that are helping me, whether it's books that people have wrote about whatever you're dealing with, reading the Bible. Those of you who are in tune with God and know how to do that. Talk to people, sometimes talking to people, or sometimes talking to yourself, not in a crazy way, but talking to yourself where you say, Thaïs, get it in check, girl. You are not alone because I know that the creator of the universe is right there next to me. So sometimes you have to talk to yourself. Then once you do that and you learn to pull in your thoughts, you can say, God, hey, what is your purpose? And once again, remember what we talked about listening. He may talk to you audibly if you are trained for that, or he may use other people to come in as you're asking these questions to let you know that he's right there and that will speak into your life. And you will know because you'll feel it like at your gut. You'll know, wow, I said that in my secret chamber in my bedroom, and he sends somebody from the outside to speak to that direct question. So as you begin to hear what your purpose is, then I want you to sit down and develop a list. Write a list of those things that God is bringing to your attention about your purpose. And once he gives you that list, now try to take that list and try to look at it and say, how can I incorporate these specific things to meet the needs of others? Because I'm telling you, when you begin to focus on helping and loving others, the focus moves from yourself, and that allows that emotion to subside and then eventually dissolve. You see me, I give a lot of love. I live as single again, and so I spend that time. And if I feel lonely or if I feel unloved, because I know I'm never alone, I will get up and I'll say, oh God, how can I make somebody smile today? And when I do that, that emotion of feeling lonely, I mean, it disappears. I kid you not. And I'm like happy chappy. It disappears because I'm fulfilling the purpose that Thaïs Sherell was created to fulfill. And so once you do that, because we know we're never alone, but once we put that emotion in check and we do those things that we were purposed to do, and we do it in a manner in which we are allowing God's kingdom to occupy on earth by helping the lives of others using our purpose, we will find that that emotional part, that internal thing that's going on, that's a myth, will begin to subside and then disappear. Are you happy about that? I know I'm definitely happy about that. So I hope you got it. I want you to use it. know that I love you, and God has people out there that loves you too. Don't get in this mindset like, oh, all these people are hypocrites. That's a lie. Okay. All right. Because truth be told, we all have our moments of being a hypocrite because we're not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. But one thing is for true, that I always love you, and I try my best to do things in love. And if I ever do something that's not in love, I'm quick to go to God and say, God, forgive me, help me, because I want to do better. I want to play this little song from CeCe Winans, and it deals with loneliness, and I really love it. So let me see if I can pull it up real quick. And I'm going to get to the part. It's called Never Have to Be Alone by CeCe Winans. Go out and buy it, okay? But let me just play a little bit into your hearing. We don't deserve the one that we know will love us best. Open up so that he can breathe in you and put the storm to rest. And this is the part where I love. That's when I close my eyes. Woo! And take some time to realize that he was always there. He's always there. The truth is he never left. Woo! That is what the Spirit says. And I believe so. I never have to be alone. Woo! Yes. Okay, that's it. Go out and buy that song. You never have to be alone. That's when I close my eyes. I take some time to realize that he was always there. And the truth is that he has never left. And therefore, you never have to be alone. We are never alone. You may feel lonely, but you got to check that emotion, because the truth is you are never alone. I love you. Make it a great day. Share this video with somebody and be free. Love you. Bye-bye.